Alright, Shichey HaRan, Sichos HaRan. We're talking about Sherach number 10 and Sicha number 10. Why don't you just walk around a little bit?
That's good.
The main avodah that the Rebbe did, through which he was zocher to everything, was only because he riboy tfilos, davening and begging, supplicating, and bakashos etzrim that the Rebbe davened from the Kodesh Baruch Hu all the time. And he used to beg HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he used to fanegel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he used to appease HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All kinds of supplications and begging that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will mezakeh him with his mercy and bring him to his avodah. And the main thing that helped him was the tefillas that he said in Yiddish. In other words, in his mother tongue, that he used to, find a place for himself. There were no people there, and there he would, speak out before Kodesh Baruch Hu in the language that one speaks, in those days, in that time, is Yiddish, and he would beg Kodesh Baruch Hu. He tried to convince him, try to charm him, and any which way, and asks him and begs Kodesh Baruch Hu, and all kinds of reasons why Kodesh Baruch Hu should do. Trying to manipulate Kiviyachol any which way he could, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be mekarav him to his avodah. And he used to be, that was his habit. He did it habitually, and he spent days and years doing that. He says he used to conceal himself in his far attic, under the roof. There was a room where they used to store the straw and animal feed. Should be kept dry under the, and he would hide himself over there, and he would say Tehillim, and he would scream in whisper, like Hashem is Baruch that the Kodesh Baruch Hu should bring him close. And the principle is that any kind of prayers and supplications that there is in any kind of a sefer, that it can be found among us, he did not leave out a single tefillah that he said again, begging, supplicating, that he said again and again and again. It was Tillin, and the Sefer Sha'ar Tzion, and all the bakashas that are written in the big Sidurim, and even the tchinas that are written in Yiddish, he said them all. And he used to say all the begging after the ma'amodes. Every single day there's a ma'amod. He used to say all the tchinas after that. And he used to say, and after every single day there is a tchina, he would say all of them at once, of all the days. And then he used to say to them only the psukim that speaks of begging and yearning to Kodesh Baruch Hu, and the other psukim he wouldn't say. And he would say these psukim from the entire Tehillim at one shot. All this was besides that which he done from his own. That he would talk to Kodesh Baruch Hu, Ashkenaz, that he would daven and he would turn and he would plead and he would HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all kinds of kindness, all kinds of supplications and bakashas that he said from his own mind. HaKadosh Baruch Hu would be kind. And this is the main thing that helped him to achieve whatever it is that he was able to achieve. He says, this is what we heard from his holy mouth himself. That's what Rabbeinu said that. This is it. There's so many diburim that should be said about this, but we'll talk about it. Sichos HaRan, number 10. The wicked are full of of regrets. And they don't know at all what regret is. Because that in itself is the reason why their regret keeps on mounting. They become their wickedness keeps on growing. This, the fact that they're getting worse and worse, this in itself is an outcome of their charata, of their regret. That sins, regret come on their minds. So they surge more, they steal themselves more with riches, like two people that are fighting one another, and you see that one of them sees that his friend is overcoming him, so he overcomes even more. Same thing when the bad sees that the good starts to awaken, so it awakens even more. And Rabbeinu says like this, וזה כלל גדול בעבודת השם, אפילו נשאר בני אדם. This is a great principle. This is the great principle of the service of Hashem, even for other people. Each one according to his own level. The more you want to get into Avodas Hashem, the more the Baldavar gets on you. As it is said in a different place. And you have to be very smart about this. And you have to be very crafty about this to win this war, to overcome evil. Each time it says, Ashrei Azorich Elotzech HaMilchama. Fortunate is the man who merits, who manages to win the war. There's so many different things. Sometimes you have to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have to, people are filled with all kinds of suspicions, for lack of a better word, of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They don't trust him so much. They're not so sure he's on their side. I'm not talking about people that are far from them. I'm not sure if it's going to be, but being that, you don't see the smiling face of Kodesh Baruch Hu, saying, yes, hello, my beloved son, how are you? You don't see that. But you talk, and it's like, you don't get an immediate feedback. You're on a phone, you're on the phone, somebody's answering. So as long as you have an impression that you live, you're convinced that somebody's listening to you. The more convinced you are, the more you can open up, the more you can say what you need to say. I mean, sometimes you're on the phone, you're disconnected, and you've been talking to the air for, I don't know how long. Then you come and says, where was that? What's the last thing you heard? With the Kodesh Baruch Hu, you don't get immediate feedback. So where do you take your emunah? What do you take your image of the Kodesh Baruch Hu? Your relation with Kodesh Baruch Hu? You take it from your father. Because for a little boy, his father is like God. He's all powerful. He's all knowing. He's always right. And if the father, Lo Aleinu, happens to be abusive, the child is convinced that he's to blame. Because God is always right. Right?
Yeah.
The parents are always right. So why are they beating me? I must be a bad boy. That's why abused children become abusers. You know, it's a cycle. So a person comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu armed with, or rather infected with all the issues, quote unquote, that he had with his own father. So it is very good that a person should have one or a few, as many as you need, where you open it up. So, one of the reasons that keeps me away from you is because, of my own figures in my head that I have from my... Truth of the matter is that what I thought that my father meant doesn't suddenly mean that he meant it at all. It's just me as a kid. I thought that this is... It's not a linear thing, Father was bad, it's sometimes the father was good and I thought he was bad, or whatever, whatever it is, that's the impression you created on me. With this I come to Avodas Hashem, and it's a hindrance. There's a blockage between me and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So you have to come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and there has to be an experience which you open everything up. You say, well, what do I do with this? Either you remove these hindrances from me, or you grant me everything I want, everything I need, so these things don't become an issue. But either or, it's like and before you do anything, this is the management that Simcha once told me, it's a very important thing to remember. With the Kodesh Baruch Hu, you speak with great derech eretz. Kodesh Baruch Hu is your biggest lover, but he's not somebody that you on your level. The Kodesh Baruch Hu, you speak with derech eretz. So if you are about to say things that might sound like a lack of derech eretz, you're going to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, truly inside I don't trust you. Yes, I trust that you'll do what's good for me, but I'm sick and tired of people, of all my powers in my life, my parents, my institutions, my teachers, everything is doing whatever it is good for me, and nobody ever bother asking me what it is that I want, or nobody even cares how I feel about this whole thing. And it's brought into the relationship between you and me. So when a person brings these kind of diburim to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, first of all, start with the Moshe. I'm only talking about the things that I feel, and I feel that I have to talk the truth to you. I have to tell you the truth. But I know it's not you. I don't get what's going on. I don't know what you is, right? So I'm asking for parenthetically. It's like, put what I'm saying now in a bubble. It's like except what I'm saying is that I mean the greatest derech eretz. I don't mean to be chutzpahdik or anything. But I have to pour it out because it's there. What am I going to say? It's not there. Then there's going to be an issue between you and me that I don't dare talk about, and therefore it's going to stop me from serving you and doing what you want, because I'm bearing grudges and all kinds of strange and young. So you start with Moshe, I'm asking you please now, accept what I'm saying as an expression of what I really feel, without chas v'chalila, be moichel me, my father can be moichel. Be moichel me if I say something which is not, be great derech eretz, and then just pour it all on, because it's all about the truth. It's all about the emes. It's all about the emes. Then comes another, okay, you did that. Then you feel like $1 million, and all of a sudden, there's all these turmoils in your life. This happens, that happens, this happens, that happens. Your son goes to the hospital, or whatever it is that happens to you. And you go, oh. Be a man. Because life passes anyhow. Whether you pass it in the lap of luxury or you're eating straw, it doesn't make a difference. You pass your life. Be a man. Don't be afraid. Because if you're suffering and it's painful, cry to Kodesh Baruch Hu to take it away from you. First of all, thank him for that. Everything. Come on, sleep.
Tell me what Rabbeinu says. Push him shot.
Okay. The man learning the Sichos HaRan is when you learn what the Rebbe says, and then